A lot of my clients rightfully ask me, why is it that it matters who the defendant is, how the defendant presents, what the defendant's life looks like? The reason for that in Georgia in particular is really simple, and that is because in an auto accident, you're not suing the person's insurance carrier. You're suing the at-fault party personally. And juries, whether or not we like it or not, and whether or not it's right or not, consider the actual person it is that you're suing. They consider that person, what their life looks like, how they present. Are they the type of person that a juror looks at and says that I want to punish them? Or in the alternative, are they the type of person that a juror is likely to look at and say, you know, I don't want to hurt that person? Let's say, for example, that I have a 40-year-old defendant who's accused of drunk driving, who presents as though he doesn't really add any value to society. And then in the alternative, I have a defendant who is 18 years old, going to college, who's not alleged to have been under the influence or anything like that, and they both cause the same injury to my client. Well, a juror rightfully looks at that person who's 40 years old, who's drunk driving, and who caused the same injury to you out of the same case, and would say, I really want to punish that person. That person's of enough age, was out there doing something that was very reckless and endangering to all of us in society. Hey, rightfully so, they would want to punish that person. On the other hand, that person who's very young, who didn't do anything that really aggravates us in the case except for having negligently caused the injury to you, a juror probably looks at that person and says, I'm not as aggravated by that person. So those are two different defendants who we both have to kind of take out in the individual circumstance of the case and say, all right, we have to use that in evaluating how much this case is potentially worth. So whenever we're looking at a case, we really have to factor in the actual defendant that we will be suing, because it's not State Farm, not USA, not Progressive that we're filing a lawsuit against. It's an individual person that the judgment will be rendered against. And if jurors are following the directions of the judge, that's who it is that they're to consider. They're not to consider the actual insurance companies. That's the reason why one of the most important characteristics of the case in determining the estimated value of the claim is who the actual defendant is. If you have any questions, feel free to call me. My name is Ben Sessions. I'm happy to talk to you about your case. Thank you.